This morning, we're talking about failure and why people are actually scared of failure. So tune in and stay in to the very end where we go over some bonuses and some strategies to overcome failure and take more action today. Enjoy the show.
Financially free and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch.
So a little one-person trampoline, very
I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So.
Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Chalk Tanner Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. And this morning, we're going to be talking about fear of failure. Fear of failure. And I believe there are 5 reasons why people are so scared of failure. I think you hear that, tell me if you've heard this in personal development before, you need to fail. You got to learn to love to fail. Fail. And I'm thinking, and then I'm actually in the midst of making a lot of tutorial videos and doing creations for projects and stuff, and I'm failing a lot. And we were putting in new plumbing stuff at one of the rentals, didn't know what I was doing, and getting help from friends and family, professionals and stuff. And it's just, failure sucks. And I believe there are 5 reasons why failure is so tough. And I think just stating it, putting it on the table can be really helpful. And then we'll wrap it back around with some strategies that I believe can help with it. So what are 5 reasons why people are scared to fail? Tip number 1. Identity and self-esteem. I believe that people tie their self-worth to failure too often. So when it comes to being scared of failure and not wanting to take that action, not wanting to go to the gym, not wanting to eat the healthy foods, not wanting to do the work necessary that you know you want to get done. I believe when we tie our identity and our self-worth to it, it can be very scary. It can be very daunting, and then we can tend to want to avoid it. So when your self-worth gets tied to the failure, what would be an example of this? Say I'm making a tutorial video for a class, and I do it the first time and I don't think it's very good. I believe that I'm a bad teacher. I believe that this is bad content. I believe that this, and I believe this, and it's bringing down my self-worth. And when I have that belief, it's no wonder how that stuff can spread into so many other facets of life. And then you just believe that you're not good at things, and then you want to tend to avoid them. So number 1 is identity and self-worth. And the opposite end of it, what we should be doing and what we can and will be doing is disconnecting our self-worth to failure. Our self-worth is not based off of failure. And on to number 2. Number 2 reason why I believe people are scared of failure is social pressure. Keeping up with the Joneses, am I right? Social pressure. Let's face it, there is a lot of pressure to do well. How we view ourselves, and I think this ties again to the self-worth mantra, whether the house that you own, the properties that you own, getting external validations from people, especially people you like and you care about, it means a lot to us as human beings. So it's no wonder why we're so scared and why social pressure has such a big role on people's fear and failure. So if I care too much what other people think and how society moves and functions, and I believe that there's a set way that I need to function as a human being, then we can connect these two and it can become dangerous. So this is another reason why I believe I'm scared of failure is because I'm worried how society will view me if I go out there and I make myself look dumb. If I go out there and I don't have a nice car, if I don't have a nice house. And I believe this is the number 2 reason for fear of failure is social pressure. On to number 3, negative emotion. Negative emotion comes in for number 3. What are some negative emotions that come when we're talking about fear of failure? I have a list of them over here in my notes. We have shame, embarrassment, frustration, disappointment. Do any of these sound familiar when you fail at something? The shame and the embarrassment definitely resonate with me more than anything. And frustration and disappointment, yeah, they're right on there too. So when we're scared of failure, I believe that we tie the negative emotion to it so strong that it really comes back full circle to these other points where our self-worth tends to drop. And let's be real, feeling negative emotion totally sucks. Feeling shame, feeling disappointment, and I believe there's strategies to help alleviate these. We do not have to embody these. We are not shame. We are not embarrassment. Easier said than done, because this is stuff that we pick up on as children and we carry it all the way through adults. I think everyone's just a kid with a bigger body as they get older. And feeling that shame is very common. So it's no wonder why number 3 comes in at negative emotions. And I believe this is the 3rd reason why people have fear of failure. We know failure is a good thing, but that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt and it totally sucks. We tend to neglect talking about that in personal development. Okay, on to number 4. We have unknown and uncertainty. Unknown and uncertainty. Uncertainty. Okay. Unknown and uncertainty. In the world of the unknown, failure is right on the line of being impossible to predict. Like they talk about, oh, you need to go out and fail, and you need to go out and fail. But it's so hard to really imagine what that actually looks like. So I believe that's why it's so scary, because we can't even have a rough idea of what. So if you're going to go out and you're going to build a company, you're going to get your body really healthy, you can't even envision what the bumpy road's really going to look like. And I believe that's why it comes in at number 4, because the unknown is just flat out scary. It goes against everything that we're hardwired for, because remember, humans are built to survive. We're not built to be happy. Happiness takes practice. And uncertainty really goes against the survival tactic, because it's, again, you're not going to ever know how you're going to fail specifically, versus if you do things that you've done before in the past, you're certain you know what you're going to get out of it. This is why people play the same games over and over again. This is why people watch TV over and over again, because it's very comforting to have certainty. But we know to live a full and round, robust life, we need to go into the unknown. We need to try new things. We need to be a little uncertain. And that's what's going to shape and help us discover the things that really make us feel alive and happy. So I believe that comes in at number 4, unknown, not knowing what's going to happen and being uncertain. I think that's the number 4 reason why people fear failure. Okay, the last one is for this side of it. Well, we actually have a bonus if you stick around. But number 5 on our list, we have perfectionism. Perfectionism. So if you believe or you want everything to be perfect as you're going around and you're trying to improve it, this is something. What's an example of this? Before I was making any calls for my business, I believe I had to have this perfect script. I got to know exactly what I'm going to say. I got to know exactly how I'm going to reply to them. I got to know exactly what I'm going to do step by step before I'm willing to take any action. And this perfectionism, I think, cripples and immobilizes people and makes it very scary, because the truth is, and you don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for coaching like I do to take away this principle my one coach gave me that I absolutely love, is if you can build the muscle of starting before you are ready, you will become unstoppable. If you can start before you are ready, you will become unstoppable, because the hardest thing human beings can do is start. That's the hardest thing by a landslide, not even close. The hardest thing is just starting. And I think perfectionism and us believing that things need to be a certain way this way and a certain way that way really holds us back from us unlocking our full potential. So watching out for perfectionism, it doesn't need to be perfect. Start before we're ready. But that doesn't limit it, and that's why I put it on number 5 for reasons why people are scared of failure. We had one bonus one. So our bonus one for today, why we're going over reasons why people are actually scared of failure, and why I'm scared of failure, why you're probably scared of failure, is loss aversion. So this one is hardwired into our brains. What is loss aversion? Loss aversion is the human bias that you losing something is way more painful than the benefit and joy that you get from gaining something. So if I were to give you $100, you would feel joy. But if you had $100 and I took it from you, you would feel twice as much emotion, twice as much pain. So I have an article over here just in case if I butchered it. I wanted to share for a second. So let's go over here. Share, loss aversion. Let's kick me down to the corner real quick. So loss aversion. Loss aversion is a cognitive bias that explains why individuals feel the pain of loss twice as intensely as the equivalent pleasure of gain. As a result of this, individuals tend to try to avoid losses in whatever way possible. And you can see there's in this article, they were talking about how, insurance lives off of this. The insurance industry makes buku bucks off of just like, we know that you don't want to lose. So we can charge egregious prices and have you pay consistently, because the pain of loss is so heavy that they can get people to pay in. And also they have the law on their side. So the insurance industry, when it comes to business, there's so many amazing things about it. Granted, I don't like insurance companies. You pay them all this money and then you need something, and then they fight you tooth and nail not to pay you $1 because they're profits and yada, yada. But that's business. That's what people are just here to make money. So the insurance example, and we know as human beings that losing something, it hurts way more. So you can see how this relates to why we would be so scared to fail, because when you're about to fail, you're putting something on the line. You're risking it. And if you go to start a new business, you're risking stuff financially. You could be risking, who knows what you're risking. It depending on the situation. And that's why we have the opportunities to start small. You probably don't need to put all of the chips into the pot right off of the bat. As long as you're making productive action and you're taking one step to get closer to your goals every single day, you'll get there. It's just, where's the back and forth with that? I like to think of it as how much risk will really dictate how much emotion and pull you have within it, because it turns out pain is a really big motivator. There's this story of a cat and a mouse. So they put this mouse in this little like plastic tube, and then they had a tether to it to see how strong the mouse would pull, and they put cheese in front of it. And so they were fasting the rat and the mouse, and it hadn't eaten in so long. And so they put the cheese in front of it, and then it pulled forward and it went and got the cheese. And then additionally, they did the same experiment and they put the scent of a cat behind it. What do you think happened? Fear of failure reigned supreme in horsepower, and this mouse bolted off and had 3 times the power of pulling because they were scared. So pain is an incredible motivator. And I think the real opportunity is trying to figure out how we can really flip the switch and use it as a benefit and not what we are just going over, and not something so brutal and horrible. So how we view and perceive things, I believe, is very powerful. Your perception seems to be, for me, and I'm sure everyone words this different in their own way, but for me, my reality is just what I am taking in right here, right now. So if my perception of failure is really bleak, it's really negative and stuff, then it's probably going to be really tough. It's going to suck really bad, and I'm probably not going to do it very often. But if I can continue to shape it, continue to chip away at it, if I can continue to fail every day just a little bit, it's going to get easier. Think of anything you've done in your life. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And failure is no different. I will say that I'm in the early stages of failure, if I'm being totally honest. Like, I was making a tutorial video yesterday. The sucker's like 40 minutes and I did something wrong, and I'm putting so much energy that I'm like trying to talk and be motivating. I'm really trying to motivate people. And I did something wrong and I was just so embarrassed and frustrated, like all those negative emotions we were talking in point number 3, negative emotions that you feel during failure, that it's like, oh, I don't want to keep going. I'm so tired. I have other stuff to do. But then I did it again anyway. And then it came out really nice and I really liked it. And I felt so much relief. So that's the hard part about this, is these 5 reasons of why people are scared to fail are very real, and failure sucks. It's not this. I listen on these podcasts and we talk so casually about failure, like, oh yeah, just go out there and fail. And then I'm like, okay, I'm writing in my notebook, smiling, like I'm learning. I'm doing well. And then I actually go out and fail. I'm like, damn, this shit sucks. But I'm a big believer that nobody's good at anything they don't do all the time. And I'm sick and tired of being hard on myself because I'm not good at something when I don't do it all the time. And if I want to truly help people, if I want to make a big difference, if I want to be a leader and I want to help support the people I love and care about most, I believe I have a real opportunity at getting better at failure. So I'm going to make more tutorial videos today for my class. So I'm going to write another blog. I'm not the best writer in the world and I'm not the best speaker in the world, but I'm going to keep chipping away at it because it has gotten easier. This is episode 344. And there's still parts of this show that totally suck and I really want to improve on. But so what? So flip the script to your own situation. Think of ways of how you can fail more often today. What's something that you can chip away on? And how can you reframe it to not let all of these reasons of failure literally eat your soul away and take all your energy away? Stop giving that power. See how we can flip the switch and just acknowledge and accept this is probably going to suck a little bit, but what else would I do? What the hell else are you going to do with your life? Just we'll sit you in a corner, put a blanket on top of you. You'll probably live to 100, but you'll just be sitting there. No risk, no pain. And then it turns out you're actually going to feel a lot more pain doing that. So could we say that pain is unavoidable and that we might as well pick the pains that are in alignment with our goals? Pick the failures that match up with what we want to do with life? Something to ponder on this morning. This was episode 344. Thanks for tuning in this morning. This was 5 reasons why people are scared to fail. Just a quick run through for my short form content. Number 1, self-esteem and identity. People tying their self-worth to failing. So that's why they avoid it. Social pressures, people believing you need to look and act a certain way. So we're scared to put ourselves out there and fail. Number 3, we feel a lot of negative emotion when we fail, such as shame, embarrassment, and disappointment. And those freaking hurt. So no wonder why we're scared of failure. Number 4 is uncertainty, unknown. It's impossible to see the way that we're heading when we're in uncertain, when things are uncertain, when we don't know what's going to happen. And so that can be really scary because it's against our old unevolved human brain of survival. Happiness takes practice. And lastly, perfectionism, just acknowledging that it's very common for humans to want everything, all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted before I can take one step forward. And the ultimate tip for that is to start before you're ready and to become unstoppable. And lastly, bonus aversion. The bonus is loss aversion, and how it's really painful to lose something. And that's why people are so scared of risk. This was failure, 5 reasons why, plus a bonus of why people are scared to fail. If you know anyone who's having a hard time with failure, if you know anyone who wants to embrace failure and change how they view it, please share this video with them. Make sure to like, comment, and get this video out there to somebody who really needs it. We're trying to help as many people start their mornings off on the right foot as possible. Big believers in momentum here. That's all I have for today. I hope you all have an incredible, incredible Monday. And in case you needed to hear it, I love you. You got this. You're a badass. Let's embrace failure and take one step forward today. Cheers to you all, and I'll see you all bright and early, 8 a.m. live with episode 345 tomorrow morning. I'm out of here, folks. Peace. I got some stuff to do myself. Catch you on the next one.